want to talk about what's the newest in Social Security?
Yeah, Carol, what's going on with Congress? There's been a lot of things going on, and I've heard a lot and read a lot in the news about them wanting to do all kinds of things and to change the system. So, what's the newest skinny on the lines?
Well, none of it's really good news, and there's a whole list of things. But the thing that really struck me that I thought our present clients and people could really take to heart is about social media. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard something about that. One of my friends who practices this says it might be time to warn our clients about some of their posts, because he had a he actually had a client that had a back injury, and he advised that client should stop filming his bungee jumping. So I advised him to get rid of the client. So, but there's some things that Congress appears to be concerned about, and it seems that fraud is a red flag that everybody likes to wave. But in my 25 years of doing this, I've seen so very little of it, and luckily we've developed a reputation as a firm that we pretty well screen our cases and then build the cases, and so that when we come in front of a judge, that we come both with our reputation untarnished and the clients with verifiable and provable cases.
Yes, that's true, but you don't want to make a case more complicated and more difficult than it already is. This is a very difficult process. So what we would suggest, and I think you would agree, is that people really take a look at their social media. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes.
Like your Twitter and LinkedIn, if you have a professional post and you are still posting things like you have a business going on, then that might be inconsistent with saying you can't work.
Yeah, in that regard too, especially since we mostly practice in Florida with our Social Security disability clients, although we travel elsewhere. Those of our clients who still remain as officers of small businesses and corporations, that's all public documentation that Social Security, anybody can find out. So it does raise suspicions on a case when somebody who's been self-employed and paying into the system for years is all of a sudden unemployable, can't work, and they're still secretary or treasurer or vice president or president of their own small business, their own limited liability company or corporation. So that becomes problematic too.
That's a very good point. Very good. What I had heard is that the ALJs or the judges are going to be given the ability to go online and look at social media. That's being proposed. So we would suggest to our clients that you either take down your social media so there's no confusion about what activities you did in the past with what you're doing in the present, or just know that information, as you already do, is out there. And don't think that people are not going to check up and verify that you're able to do things and not able to do things.
Yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to address. I've been invited to speak by the National Business Institute.
That's right.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm lecturing later on this week. And just in case you don't miss it, it'll be on video. So,
wow.
But yeah, that's one of the topics that I'm sure we're going to discuss there. And I've been lucky enough to every year to be asked by the Institute to lecture on Social Security disability. So. So all the attorneys watching this, you might tune in to the National Business Institute's website and find the video if you want to learn more about Social Security, especially the most recent legislation that's been going through.
And the other thing that is a fact, it's not even being proposed, is that there's less money for Social Security. The agency has less money for this fiscal year than it did for the previous one. And that means, well, what do you think that means, Mike?
Well, it means that the case log is going to be even larger, that people are at the DDS level will continue to not review cases. We'll put the rubber stamp of disapproval on them, so disapproval rates will go up, meaning they will force more of a backlog and more cases into the ALJ stages. And then we are probably going to have a reoccurrence of what happened in 2008 and 2009, when there was nothing heard, and then all of a sudden everything was heard. And getting kind of tired of the chicken little mentality of Congress that the sky is falling, and it's a testament to what a poor job they do by failing to allocate proper funding for the Social Security Disability Administration. In the 25 years I've been doing this, for the first 10 years, the administration was properly funded. And then after that, the funds for the administration would run out. It started as an October drought, and then it became September and July, and eventually, in the last 15 years, the Social Security Administration, especially the disability part of it, has been funded by supplemental appropriations bills that come in front of Congress after May when they run out of money. That's a disgrace, and that's how they've been running our system, and very few people know about that.
Well, that's where they are right now, which is really unfortunate. And there are fortunately people who are lobbying to have the system properly funded, but that hasn't happened in a long time. So I think
nobody wants to listen to the poor and the disabled.
Nobody does, and they don't have the money and the PACs and all that. But luckily, we are very fortunate to have a good group of attorneys and organizations that we're plugged into, like NOSCR, that give us the information that we need to help our disabled clients. The less funding is going to mean that it's going to take longer to get a hearing, don't you think? And that these local offices are not going to be open as long.
Right. In that regard, whether you're one of our clients or somebody else's, don't beat up your attorney because the system is so badly underfunded and broken. I'm not saying they have to do a redesign. They don't. All they have to do is properly fund it and make the people that are in the system accountable for it. And they're really not. What they're held accountable for are the cases that they grant, not the cases that they turn down. You can actually get promoted by turning people down. You can get fired by approving the wrong case. So in the course of time, you have to realize that a bad mistake by somebody at the DDS level on a case is going to cost the Social Security Administration $650,000 to $1 million. So those are very big mistakes. If they give people benefits, especially if they're in their 50s and the cases are not going to be reviewed every 2 years as somebody in their 40s would be. So these kind of mistakes and blunders are not looked on very fondly by the administration. That's why people are promoted who say no, and people who say yes find another job.
But there is some good news. They did give money so that we can start getting those Social Security statements to tell us how much we have in our retirement accounts.
You mean the money that we'll never collect?
The money that well, hopefully we will, don't say that. But starting with age 25 and every 5 years after, people in those age groups are supposed to get their statements.
Okay, so let me get this straight. They've reinvented the wheel once again?
Yes, so that means that when you turn 60 in October, you will get your statement. And when I turn 60 in December, I will get mine.
Oh, well, good for you.
Good for us.
Good for me. We get something in paper in writing from the Social Security Administration that they'll actually give us without us having to ask for it.
Well, that's the theory.
Okay, well, I'll believe it once I see it. we all know how good institutions are.
That's right. Well, that's really all I know about the updates for now. Do you have anything else?
No, it's been nice meeting with you today. We need to do this again sometime. Hopefully this has been informational and of some use to you who are going to watch it. And, tune in again for our next little continuing legal education segment for our clients and for those who are interested.
Bye.